Okay, everybody, welcome to Intro to Psych, Spring 2026, fully online. And this is Dr. Nelson speaking. I thought I would show you a little bit around the course and kind of acquaint you with the structure of the class. So here is your Canvas page, your home page, and you can see right here where we've got a few different categories. I might break up all of these into like a couple separate videos, so it's not like all one video. Um, but so we're just going to kind of go through this like we're going through a regular syllabus, because that's what this is. I have the syllabus in two places, right here on the homepage, and then also in the syllabus section, uh, just for, I don't know, that's why I wanted to do it. So here we go. Here's all my info. I'm not on campus basically ever because I live a little bit of a ways away, not too far away, um, uh, but that's my office. That's where my office is. And phone, probably not the best way to reach me either. Best way to reach me is email. So just send me an email, of course. And also, here's my webpage if you're interested in some of the stuff that I do research wise and my writing and so on, books and journal articles and presentations. So I'll let you read the objectives a little later and learning outcomes. Here's your text. You can get that pretty much anywhere, as it says right here. Kiva, Amazon, anywhere, or directly from the publisher, Pearson. I would recommend this deal, really the cheapest deal. You get the e-text for $11 a month, somewhere around there, where you rent it. So it's super economical. That's what I would do if I was a student. But, of course, you can get whatever you want. So if you want to go for a paper version, or feel free. Okay, so for the class evaluation, there's going to be 6 exams throughout the term, non-cumulative, multiple choice in the quiz section in Canvas. Each of them is about an hour, but they're 50 items, but I give you an hour. And they start at the exams open on exam day, and it's listed in the syllabus schedule. And you'll see that it'll say like exam 3 today, and so it opens at 6 a.m. and you probably want to start it no later than 10:45 because it closes at 11:59. And make sure you have a really good, stable, reliable internet connection, so that you don't have any problems taking the test. There's no makeup exams, but there are remedial exams, and we'll talk about that in a minute. And okay, so that's basically the main way, the only way that you're going to be evaluated is by your scores on the exams. There's no other assignments or group projects or writing assignments or anything like that. None of that. I do curve the exams and your final grade, and I find that's the most fair. So rather than doing like a 90, 80, 70, 60 kind of thing, like it's called what I call a straight scale, I base it on the sort of the distribution of the points for the class. So you really sort of, your grade is on a distribution based on the particular people that you take the class with at that term. So like I said, it works out pretty well. Try to decide if you want to change your grading option. I always say stay with the letter grade, unless you're, planning on doing really horribly. Um, you know, it's always a good idea. And again, okay, so now if you miss an exam, what do you do? There's two remedial exams, one halfway through the term, one at the end of the term. And you don't have to tell me if you're going to miss an exam. Just plan on taking a remedial if you want. It's optional. You don't have to take the remedial. The remedial is um, based on items from from the previous exams. So, like for example, remedial one is based on items from exams 1, 2, and 3. Remedial 2 is based on items from exams 4, 5, 6. And remedial 1 can replace either exam 1, 2, or 3, and remedial 2 will replace either 4, 5, or 6. You can't have remedial 2 replace anything from 1, 2, or 3, or vice versa. And if you take a remedial and you get a lower score than your previous scores, then we just don't even talk about it, right? It doesn't hurt you. You can't get harmed grade wise by taking the remedial. So, and if you are wondering, at any point in the term, should I take the remedial? My standard answer is if you have to ask that, then go ahead and take the remedial. It's like I said, it's not going to hurt your grade at all. So you're welcome to take it, and so I will just basically go through and look if whenever the remedial is given, and let's say you took it, and let's say you have one score that's pretty low and another score that's maybe a couple points higher, and then your remedial is higher than both of those. I'll take the remedial score and replace your lowest one, right? Seems to make sense. So that's how it's done. And if you're wondering, do I drop the lowest score? You know how some classes do that? No, I don't do that. But the remedials are a really good way they're like safety nets, in case you either miss an exam or you maybe had a internet connection problem, or you didn't do well on an exam, then just take the remedial. And then now there's some good ways to get extra credit. You can get there's regular extra credit, and then there's what I call electric boogaloo extra credit. I'll talk about that in a minute. So regular extra credit, you can get 1 point for each half hour of doing an experiment, and you can find out what experiments are on being offered through the SONA system, and you can create an account. Here's how you can find out how to create an account, and then you can the list of available studies are at this link usually. Hopefully it's still a good link. And like I said, that's a good experience, especially if you're a budding psychology student. It's fun to participate in psych experiments to find out what it's like to be a subject, and invaluable for people who will want to go on to grad school in psych, who will then be running experiments, right? So you really get a nice idea of what it's like on both sides of the table, You can also do a paper, and here's the guidelines for the paper. I'm not going to go through all these, but it's basically, you can see all these guidelines. About an 8 to 10 page paper. It's like a library or research paper. You can get and pretty much any topic in the book is fair game. If you need some help, you can always ask me for ideas, and I can look at like outlines if you want. Just let me know. So extra credit papers can also give you the full 20. So you can get 20 points by doing research, or through a paper, or you can do both, but the max still that you can get this way is 20 points. Okay, now on to the next type. There are some chapter quizzes that will be given randomly throughout the semester. I think I'm going to update this a little bit. Each quiz is not 3 to 10; it's about 10. They'll be usually announced a day in advance and will be open for about 6 hours, starting at 6 and ending at around close to midnight. And there is a number of them. I think there is like maybe 7, maybe up to 10. I might, write a few more. So that's a lot of points, that can give you, coupled with the other 20, that can basically, if I do 100, right, that's more than enough to get you 2 exams worth, I guess, of points. So that's a substantial amount of extra credit. So there's really, you got the remedial exams and you got all the extra credit. So there's really a lot of ways to sort of help your grade. And then here's your schedule. So here is the sort of main thing that you should be looking at every morning, I would say, and every night. What's due, what should I be doing, and when is it due, right? So, first day of class, I'm wanting you to read this. Ideally before that day, right? So having already read, now this is kind of unusual because there's 3 on one day, but you don't have to read all 3 in one day, right? Because you can see here's 2 and 6 again, and here's 6 again. Now you'll notice here with this one, it's on the same day. So there's 6 and 4, and it says book only, no lecture. So all these other ones have lectures, accompanying lectures. And I'll talk about that in a second. And you can see there's the exam 1. And then we got our other units, right, throughout these. So basically what happens is for each chapter, so chapter 1, there'll be an accompanying lecture. I don't think I have one for history. I should put a little asterisk on that one. But there's one for research methods. So you'll say, where's that lecture and what do I do? And I'll tell you that in a second. Then there's consciousness, right? Go watch that lecture. Learning, go watch that lecture, right? And then memory, and then intelligence and social cognition, and so on. This one says it's lecture only, no reading, right? So you get the idea. Sometimes it's book only, no lecture. Sometimes it's lecture only, no book. And let me just stop real quick right here and tell you where all the lectures are, right? So you come up to announcements, boom, click on that. And here's all your lectures, right? So here's the first one. And they're not necessarily in the exact order either. I should say that. But you click on research methods and it says, hey, everybody, your first lecture is posted at this URL, right? And, it says, sometimes they'll have like little notes like start the video 37 seconds in. And so you can just copy and paste this. So there'll be a whole bunch of things in the announcements, sometimes actual announcements, right? So make sure you, and the announcements, by the way, when there are new ones, usually what I'll do is I will email you the whole class about what the announcements are. I'll be sending a number of emails throughout the semester, sometimes about stuff that you guys need to know, and sometimes some jokes and other random nonsense that I like to send. But don't worry, I'm not going to spam your inbox. Don't worry about that. Then you can sort of see I know I'm kind of going fast, but I'm not kind of, you guys get the idea. Uh, no, for example, here's a little note. There's no lecture for the motivation chapter, right? And I'm sorry. You see, you get the idea. I'm cracking myself up. Um, okay. So and then so there's some things, for example, on classical conditioning and operant conditioning. This is for the learning section. These are good videos to watch. But again, you'll get the idea. These are all the videos are. And then here's a frequently asked questions thing for the class. You can definitely check that out. Okay, so um, so again, that's where the all the announcements are and the lectures are. Now, and I already kind of went through the schedule, so we don't really need to talk too much about that. There are no exams in finals week, right? So this is the last day of regular classes. I think, if I'm not mistaken, 5:15, and then it gets into the finals week. We don't have anything going on in finals week. It's my gift to you is that I don't do any exams during finals week. So one less thing to worry about. Now here's another big thing that people always are wondering about, and that is, what about this area right up here, the to-do thing? Are there any things? Because I don't know why people get so discombobulated about, oh, this class is really hard to follow. I don't know what was due and when, and because it didn't show it up right here in the to-do part. That's just how this class is set up. I'm, or maybe it's because I never, you know, figured that part out, or I don't know. I feel like it's not necessary. It's like an extra steps, extra stuff to do. I know a lot of people do have that in their Canvas classes, but I don't. And that's because all you need to do if you want to know when things are due and what's due, just come down here, right? It's all here, right here. All you need to know is in the schedule. I will also put some. Well, since I'm thinking about it right now, let's go to files and go to study guides. And so for each exam, I have exam 1, exam 2, and so on. These are all Word documents. And they just basically have your things that you need to know for the exam. Right, so here's exam 1, chapter 1, 2, and these are just all the different concepts. And chapter 6 and chapter 4. So it seems like a lot. And this definitely is a lot for the first one. Sometimes they're not that many. Now, you're not going to be needing to know, you're not going to be tested on all this stuff. The test is a subset of all this stuff, right? And some of these things you might not necessarily see in book or lecture, and that's okay. That just means if you don't see it in book or lecture, then don't need to worry about it. And you can email me if you want to be doubly sure. Okay, so these are your study guides, very helpful for you. Here's another thing I wanted to mention. So when you go to grades, this is another thing that people are always asking about. And we don't have anything set up yet on this one, but once you have your grades set up, what I will do is, actually, you know what? I'll do this. Let's try this. I'll leave student view. And now I'm in grades. Okay. So let's go over here. You see all this stuff right here? you know, extra credit, exam 1, exam 2, exam 3. These are all your grades, right? They'll be listed. And then what Canvas does is it has these assignment things, and it might say 000s or whatever. I don't know what it puts some stuff in there. Don't don't need to pay attention to any of that, and you don't need to pay attention to this stuff down here where it'll say like, oh, you've got some percentages. Right now you're at a 78%, and that means that's a D plus or whatever. That's not that doesn't apply to us. So don't worry about the um, the Canvas automatic grading stuff because that just doesn't apply to us. Because I do all the grading stuff offline. So, uh, try not to freak out too much about that because, some people say, they'll email me and they say, hey, I did a extra credit and it lowered my grade. It looks like it's lowering my grade. What's going on? Yeah, so don't worry about that. Just, you can just look at your regular exam scores and so on, and that's all good. Um, quizzes are all, the exams are in the quiz section, right? So here's all your exams, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then these are some of the extra credit quizzes, and it has the dates and the times when they are opening up, right? So that's all honky-dory and ready there for you. And again, when are these offered? They're offered right here in the schedule that is listed, exam 1 on this day, right? So opens at 6 a.m., closes at 11:59, but you should start no later than 10:45. Another thing I wanted to say is that the exams are not on any particular schedule. Like some students were saying, oh, I missed exam 4 because the first 3 exams were always on a Friday. And I thought that was what it was. It was always Friday. No, there's no rhyme or reason, day wise in terms of when these are. They're just on the days that they're listed, right? I don't do it that way. I don't have it like, oh, they're every Wednesday or every Friday or something. That's not the case. So, the way to study for remedial is by just basically going over this material. But, look at the study guide basically for exams 1, 2, and 3, and then that should give you a refresher. People tend to be doing better than they do on a standard exam on the remedial because they've seen the items before, because they're made up of items from the previous 3 exams. So, like I said, that's yet another reason to take the remedial if you're feeling at all unsure about your grade. Extra credit, get all that in by 5 o'clock on this day, 5:13. And I think that's all sort of the big main stuff for the way that our class is organized. I might have 1 or 2 other videos for you, but this is hopefully gets you a nice feel for how the class is organized and structured. Feel free to email me anytime with any of your questions. And again, welcome to the class, and I hope you enjoy it.